Hmm. Hey, how's it going, everybody? And welcome to another exciting episode of Channel X, the only show on Thursdays that starts the weekend early. I am your host, Tom Dog 247, and as always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Ooh, baby, all right. So, yes, I am back. I am back from my vacation, and I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go anywhere. It's just that it was a very busy um after the whole the whole thing with Gamers Week a couple weeks ago. I was tired. I was tired and everything like that, and I had to catch up with with some other stuff, and of course um the what you- I did um the product review, which I still got to finish up, by the way. I still got to finish that up, and I also did a locker room code that I um did I put that up on the YouTube channel? I gotta see. See, I completely forgot. See, I need a vacation from my vacation. Oh yeah, I did. I did. Okay, just making sure. So, but yeah, it and plus also isn't the weather has been nice. The weather has been weird too. The weather has been really weird, and I have to tell you, it's ridiculous. And you know, I don't know, man. I really don't know. See, this is what I mean. I need a vacation from my vacation. So, and of course, this is the last week of Pride Month. So, um, so yeah, it's we do this every now and then. Even though I only did like maybe like 3 weeks of like this is like the third week I've done Pride Month because I didn't do anything last week. But yeah, it's good to be good to be back, refreshed and everything like that, and hopefully I don't yawn, but I'm not counting anything because the weather just doesn't seem to make up its mind. The past few days it's been hot as hell, and luckily I don't do it at the beginning of the week. Do my shows at the beginning of the week because I would not have done them. I would not have done them. I probably would have gone on another break and everything like that, but it's just been really crazy with this weather and everything. And now it's just very comfortable weather. As a matter of fact, it's been very comfortable weather, and I like it. And you know, can't go wrong with that. Do I even have a window? Yeah, I have a window. Just making sure. And got the say the temperature says 62, but it feels hot in this room. So and there's a fly buzzing around. Don't worry, it'll die soon. I got one of those Zevo things. I don't have it in here, but you know, yeah. So, we do have a lot of show to talk about. We do have some show to do and everything like that. But let's do the shout outs and the plugs and everything like that because we got to get this show on the road here, and then we'll continue on with my little monologue. Um, so, big shout out to the Dorkening Podcast Network. You guys are amazing. Love watching you each and every week. Leo, Drew, Carrie, everybody, everybody on the Dorkening Podcast Network. You guys are awesome, and Retro Redoctopus. Love watching you guys as well too. Um, which is also part of the Dorkening. And check them out. They have tons of shows on their lineup and everything. Check them out. They're awesome, really really awesome. And speaking of Dorkening Podcast Network, another channel that's up on there, of course, is the Owlite Network. And Friday, Carrie, Raz, everybody over on there. Always have a good time watching the shows on there. Check them out. They're awesome, and you'll be glad you did. And then, excuse me. And of course, Melly Playful and Tango over on YouTube. If you like watching people play video games, then Melly Playful and Tango are the ones for you. Check them out, and you'll have a good time watching your watching them play your favorite video games, and you'll have a good time watching them play your favorite video games. And so check them out. I'll be glad you did. And this episode is brought to you by. Oops. Okay. This episode is brought to you by W Energy. And what is W Energy? Well, it's not this. This Propel water. It's actually pretty good though. Let's look at it. But I won't say it too loudly. Well, it is an energy supplement that has no sugar, no artificial colors, flavors, or dyes, and zero chances of you crashing. So you want to feel good, you want to feel refreshed and everything like that, and energized, and be the talk of the town. Then go to w.gg right now. Use that promo code Brill that you see right there. Use that promo code on the checkout, and you'll save 10% on your purchase. Anything in the store, 10% off of anything that you buy. And you'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. So check that out. So again, that's W.gg, promo code Brill at the checkout, and you'll save 10% on your purchase. Yes, sir. Excuse me. So, also too, just want to remind everybody that Terrificon tickets are still available from August 8th through the 10th at the Mohegan Sun Convention Center in Uncasville, Connecticut. And for tickets and information, go to Terrificon.com. And sadly, I will not be able to make it because due to a personal issues beyond my control, I can not make it this year again. And I was really looking forward to it, and even more so than ever because one of my favorite actors is going to be there. And it was a big get, and that is Lee Majors, $6 Million Man, but I know him better as Bo from The Fall Guy. One of my favorite shows watching that as a kid, and Lee Majors was one of the first actors it's one of the first shows I've seen, and there was a lot of good shows back then. Fall Guy being one of them, and of course Knight Rider and Airwolf and A-Team. all those other good shows and everything like that. So yeah, um, so yeah, a lot of cool stuff. But one of my personal favorites was the Fall Guy, and and yeah, I always wanted to meet Lee Majors. You know, he's still on my bucket list of celebrities that I want to meet. You know, either before they pass or I pass. So yeah. So, but yeah, it is. But don't you pass on this opportunity and go to terrificon.com and get those tickets today and have a good time. Everything. And tell everybody that Tom Dog says hi. So hopefully one of these days I'll get to meet Lee Majors and thank him for for giving out one of my favorite shows was The Fall Guy. So yeah, and I actually enjoyed that movie that came out last year. That movie was really good. I think it came out last year. I think it was or the year before. I forgot which. But yeah, Fall Guy was really good. I loved it. Loved it. But yeah, before we get started with tonight's show, I just want to remind everybody that I just want to make an official announcement before we get into tonight's festivities, and that is regarding the Tom Dog Days of Summer. I'm working on a new graphic, and we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun with that. Um, the Tom Dog Days of Summer is widely approaching. It's going to be, of course, um, we do that every during the month of August. Pretty much take over the month of August because not only is it my birthday month, but it's also August is actually considered the dog days of the summer. And since I am Tom Dog, it's a little creative and everything like that. So yeah, we call it the Tom Dog Days of Summer. And so yeah, and with the introduction, with the inclusion of the new original series Wrestling Prime Elite, the spinoff to the classic Wrestling Prime. Um, I'll be doing, of course, this show is going to be on this channel is going to be on Overload. So, we're the start of that is going to be August 1st. So, I am looking at the calendar as we speak. And August 1st, it will be on a Friday. So we're going to be doing wrestling. We're going to be doing Channel X that Friday. We're going to be doing the birthday special, where Mojo is going to be roasting me. So he has some pretty good ones after what I did to him back in April, which he has forgiven me. He has forgiven me, and because the third is on a Sunday, and that's going to be that it's going to be preempted um, for um, um, the my SummerSlam review because this year is going to be a 2 night event, and of course it's going to fall on my it's going to be falling on my birthday. So yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff going on there, and we're gonna have some fun. So we're gonna be celebrating my birthday early on that Friday on August 1st, and because my birthday's on the 3rd, and I'm going to be using that day to review SummerSlam. So, um, so yeah, got a lot of fun stuff and everything. As far as the predictions go, um, as far as the predictions go, um, I have not. I'm not going to give out any do a prediction. I probably won't do a prediction show. If I do, it'll probably be on Thursday. So, um, maybe I don't know. I haven't really debated on that, but all I do know is that on Friday is of course um, the official start of Tom Dog Days of Summer, and we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff to do and everything like that. So yeah. Um, so um, so yeah. Um, but I will keep everybody posted on the runtime and everything like that of all the cool stuff that we got planned for the Tom Dog Days of Summer, and we're going to have a lot of fun with that. I'm sure. So, all right. So let's talk about now. I did not see the series premiere of Ironheart. That came out the other day, and I still didn't get a chance to watch it, but I will watch it once I get the time. I haven't had a chance. I've been so busy lately. I've been so busy and everything like that. So yeah, because you'll understand why when we talk about it when we get to it in, a little bit later on in the show. And also um Duster, that came out earlier to the new episode just came out earlier this evening. And so yeah, I was busy preparing for the show, and I didn't get a chance to watch it. Plus, also AEW was on too. So yeah, that reminds me. Um, tomorrow is going to be um, Wrestling Prime Elite, a special Friday episode of Wrestling Prime Elite. Because on Saturday I'm going to be I'm going to be doing the classic Wrestling Prime, where I'll be reviewing the um, Night of Champions. So yeah, so all that fun stuff. But tonight is Channel X night. Start the weekend early every Thursday. That's right, because it's the party show. so, um, so now that we got all that taken care of, let's talk about what I did watch um, on my vacation, and that was, of course, um, the arrival of a Minecraft movie that's showing on HBO Max. And I've been waiting to see this movie. I haven't had a chance to see it in the theaters, but I'm actually kind of glad that I didn't see it in the theaters. I'm not saying the movie was bad, but I'm doing a full review of the non-spoiler review. And because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people that still haven't seen it, but still I'm not going to be that guy. And so yeah. Um but normally when I review something, I just say it's good or bad or whatever and just move on. And I don't really go into detail about what I thought about the movie, but I have seen, but after watching this movie, I felt that it was necessary to give my full analysis of what I actually thought about this movie. And it was decent for what it is. Um, there was a lot of good things I liked about the movie. There was a lot of bad things I didn't like about the movie, and I'm going to try to talk about that without going into spoiler territory. But I will say that the visual, the good thing about it, the characters were likable, and I mean, to a point, and you know, uh, the effects was you know seeing Minecraft characters on in live action. That's pretty much how I would visualize them and everything like that. So it was pretty cool to see them, and it was pretty interesting to say the least. There was a lot of funny parts in that movie, and of course, the chicken jockey, you know, which I can still do good, and of course, Jack Black is, such a delight to see on the big screen. And this would be like maybe I think this is his third or fourth video game um appear video game adaptation. I think I'm not counting the Brutal Legend because that was a video game, and that game is awesome. If that that needs to come show up on the big screen, but it has to be CGI. It has to be can only be done to CGI. Can't do it any other way. Um, but as far as um, because he did the voice of Bowser in the Super Mario Brothers movie, and then of course he was Claptrap in Borderlands, and of course he's Steve in this one, and I think he's going to be voicing another character. I think he's going to be in another. I think it was in some other video game movie. I forgot which. I have to look his filmography, and I don't want to do that in this episode. Sorry, I'll have it for next week. But but yeah, um, it was it was the characters are cool. Jason, it's good seeing Jason Momoa on there and everything, and he's entertaining, and him sharing the screen with Jack Black is actually pretty cool. Kind of want to see them being a buddy movie together and like that. I think that would be really funny and badass and crazy, and fun guy. I think that would be really cool. You know, but Jack Black, good. He always brings a lot of energy to his movies and everything, and I like that. It's really really cool. And so um, a lot of cool cool scenes in the movie. There was where's the pig with the crown. Um, that's basically an Easter. A lot of Easter eggs in this movie, especially the with the pig and the crown. Um, I forgot. There was a Minecraft player who passed away not too long ago, and a huge fan. He was a huge fan of the game, and and he actually, I think, actually has a crown with it's a pig with a crown on it and everything like that, and he basically that was pretty much his theme and everything like that, and so he pretty much gave him a little shout out and everything. Is like he's a legend. He's a legend and everything like that. But it goes into detail and everything. Um, they don't really go into detail about that, but there is some history behind it if you ever watch the making of that movie. But yeah, a lot of cool Easter eggs, and seeing them on live action is really really cool, especially the creeper. Looks menacing um, as a live action character. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Um, spiders, the spider, the spiders in there are just as scary as they are in the video game. And yes, I do have arachnophobia, so yes. and yeah, they were terrifying. But luckily, they didn't have much to work with. Luckily, they weren't on too long, so I'm glad for that. Um, Pretty much giving out, pretty much doing the whole lore of the, you know, staying true to its to its source material and everything like that. The villagers, were pretty cool looking. One of them, um, who we saw in the trailer, who, um, who was hanging out with Jennifer Coolidge and her character. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it was kind of weird. But did they had to make these villagers look more like Eugene Levy, especially that particular one that was hanging out with Jennifer Coolidge? So yeah, but yeah, another. I don't know. I ate a pony, so now I'm a little hoarse. So yeah. But yeah, nonetheless, it was pretty good. Um, for what I saw. Now the bad things I didn't like about the movie, it was boring. The beginning of the movie was boring. Um, when he, not the part where you know where where Steve goes into detail about that, but it technically we know. But it's meeting is when we first meet the characters for the first time. The main characters for the first time, and it was between that and before they went into the to the real world, to the real world and everything. It was boring. It was literally boring, and the exposition, I was like, wasn't necessary. We did not need to know Jennifer Coolidge's backstory about you know her her past and everything like that. Her character, because she plays the teacher in the no, not teacher but a principal, vice principal, and but it it's and I don't mind um the brother and sister, but she does not look like she can, you know. I mean, no offense to the, to that character that plays plays that, but she doesn't look old enough to be a an executive at a potato chip factory. So and it's like it looked like she could barely look over the steering wheel too, and it's like she does not look like she's 18 or whatever like that. She looks younger, and like maybe 15 or 16. But I'm like, okay, you know, but she just doesn't look old enough to be driving, running a, that was my nitpick in that whole thing. But nonetheless, but the pacing of the movie was too, could have cut some of that stuff out and everything. And I think a little bit more detail. The way they, actually the way they get to introduce the main characters was pretty cool because Jason Momoa's character, and then it goes right into the brother and sister driving the station wagon, and then and then you meet them to the other character as well too. So and but they spent they spent so long with the whole they could have left some certain things out with when he was at the school when he was at school and everything. So could have left some stuff out. It's like because do we really need to know that that this vice principal was divorced, and everything. And we find out who the divorcee is and everything like that. And the teacher and everything like that. It's just like he was saying some random shit that did not make any sense, and like had that showed no purpose in the plot whatsoever. So, but I guess it was but I guess not knowing about not I guess um knowing that she's a divorcee, even though she just could have said single, she could have been like single and everything like that, or just like maybe a widow or something like that. I don't know, but whatever the case, just been single, you know, without having to say, "Oh, I was divorced." Oh, I was divorced, or whatever. I do a terrible Jennifer Coolidge impression, so I apologize, Jennifer Coolidge. Don't kill me. You're such an ass. So- but you're such an ass. There we go. But and they kept going. It was funny seeing that one villager in the in the real world and everything like that. It was funny as hell. And meeting with this with Jennifer Coolidge's character, I thought it was funny. But why that one? But that one was looking more like Eugene Levy. I mean, don't give me. It's like, trust me, you put glasses on him. If that villager had glasses on him, it would have looked like Eugene Levy. I mean, it really would have. And so tell me that I mean, seriously, picture that villager with glasses. I'm serious. I am really really serious. Tell me that that would have happened. You know, maybe I'll ask AI to give it glasses, and I'll show off that picture, and you tell me. I mean, it's got the unibrow and everything, the bushy eyebrows and everything like that. So yeah. Hmm. Hmm. It's funny. I could still do the. I mean, it's basically just that noise. I mean, they sound like Squidward. So yeah. So um, but yeah, but nonetheless, the movie's good. And then, do I recommend it? Yes, I recommend it. I do. So yeah. I do give it a 7 out of 10. I do. So yeah. So, okay, now for the main attraction to this show, and it has something to do with this character, Pauline. Now that character there is from Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong video game. She became the damsel in distress, where Jumpman, Mario Jumpman, uh, that's basically the name that he goes by, Mario Jumpman, and he goes and saves Pauline. She's not a princess or anything like that, um, but there's a reason why I'm talking about this Pauline, this Pauline, and why this Pauline is under discussion. So apparently, so this is the Paul. So Nintendo showed off in a Donkey Kong Direct last week the Donkey Kong Bonanza. Um, so yeah, this is Pauline. She's going to be like um a secondary, secondary character in the game. And so yeah, that's what Pauline looks like in the game. That's what Pauline's going to look like in the game. The stats is that she's 13 years old, um, and she loves to sing. So yeah, so yeah, that is the line. Now, there's a lot of speculation about this Pauline and the confusion of, is this an origin story for is this the prequel to the original Donkey Kong game? The answer is no, because I'm going to give out my theory on as to why I think it's no. Because this is the Pauline that we're familiar with the red dress. She has like a reddish type hair. Looked like she was a brunette at one point, but this is more darker shade of red. You know, so I don't. It doesn't look like she's a ginger, because basically this Pauline is um more ginger-esque and everything like that. So so what I'm thinking is that this Pauline is the mother of this Pauline. And to which this Pauline, I mean, to that young Pauline, grows into her. So, so as we know that this Pauline is is of course the original Pauline, and so she connects to the Donkey Kong um protagonist in that game. And so the original, of course, the original Donkey Kong in that game, in that game, we find out later that it's Cranky Kong. Now, there's a little bit of confusion on whether or not whether Cranky Kong is the grandfather or the father of Donkey Kong. And I am going to fix this up, because my theory, of course, which I think they have fixed up, because I think they made a mistake. Um, from Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong Country and Donkey Kong 64. Um, really kind of got it right, especially if you watch the cartoon. Kind of hinted that they were that Cranky Kong was, of course, the son, and of course, and of course the Mario movie, where even that goes into details that Cranky Kong is DK's son. I mean, it's DK's father. So So having established that, Cranky Kong is the original Donkey Kong, and DK that we know now is Donkey Kong Jr. So where does Mario fit in all this? Well, in the original Donkey Kong game, in the original 81 Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong, the Mario in that game is Jumpman, and So pretty much, I guess the rumor about that is that Jumpman is Mario's last name. That particular Mario. Note the color. Note the pattern of the overalls. So 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 technically, I think so. Basically, it's Mario Jumpman, and so but then when they call it so Jumpman is just basically a nickname for Mario. Come to find out later, because as we know, the last name of Mario is Mario Mario. You know, so yeah, that's his full name, Mario Mario, and then there's Luigi Mario. So yeah, yeah. Otherwise, they wouldn't be called the Super Mario Brothers. So so could be chronically confusing, yes. And but yeah. Um, so going back to the original Donkey Kong, that's not the Mario that we know and love today. The Mario in that one is actually Mario's father. Again, note the pattern of the overalls. It's not because the Mario that we know is blue overalls with a red t-shirt with a red shirt, and that Mario in the Donkey Kong games is a blue shirt with red overalls. So yeah, color swap. So yeah, and so yeah. So where does Mario fit in that line? So the Mario, Donkey Kong, and Pauline are not the same Pauline, Donkey Kong, and Mario. So it's still Mario, but it's Mario. Technically, he's Mario Jr. The Mario that we know now is Mario Jr. And so is Donkey Kong Jr. So if you're wondering what happened to Donkey Kong Jr. all the time, just know that in Donkey Kong Country and games that follow after is Donkey Kong Jr. And so with now having said that, so how does Pauline get to this? Get so how where does this Pauline fit with the pixelated Pauline? The young Pauline, that you see right here is the daughter of this Pauline. So yeah. So 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 yeah. So yeah. The original Pauline is the mother to the Pauline that we know and love. So where does this all fall in? And how does that fall into with Mario? Mario and the original Mario and Pauline are friends, and And apparently, so that's how I'm thinking that that of course Mario, the original Mario, and the old Mario and this version of Pauline are friends, are 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 basically friends, and I guess they had like a romance together, but nothing is nothing is really um, sacred at that point. However, I was thinking about it that maybe they were more than that. Maybe Mario and Pauline were maybe that version of Mario and this version of Paul and that version of Pauline were more than just friends. So what I'm thinking that this version of Pauline is Mario's sister. That is Mario's sister. That long half sister. And so and so where does this version of Pauline fit within the timeline of Donkey Kong after Donkey Kong Jr.? I would say that that it was after. Actually, no, after Donkey Kong. I would say after Donkey Kong 64. So yeah, this is a pretty confusing timeline. So yeah, um, so actually no, I'm thinking that this version of Pauline takes place in the 90s, around the time of the Donkey Kong Country era. So yeah, I'm thinking around there. Or no, no, actually no, Donkey Kong 64. And this version of Pauline is the younger version this this Pauline. So so yeah, where does it fit in so yeah, it's a very confusing timeline, I'm sure of it. But yeah, that is pretty much what I'm gathering, is that the fact that that Mario and Pauline, that Mario and in this version of Pauline are siblings. So, or they could be cousins, either or. Um, but I'm thinking more of sibling territory. I'm thinking, um, because we pretty much know that that the Mario in the Donkey Kong games are of course um, the Mario Mario's father. And then when they do the Mario um from the Donkey Kong, the Donkey Kong games and later versions, um, we've seen a more adult Pauline, and so I'm thinking that the Paul, actually no, that the Pauline, oh yeah, I forgot about that. The Pauline from that version, and of course this one, the from the of course from the Game Boy version. So so when Donkey Kong, takes Pauline and everything like that, basically it's basically Donkey Kong Jr. So yeah, that version of Donkey Kong, of course, is Donkey Kong Jr. And because of that, he go a little confusing that Mario um say, saves Pauline and everything because of that. So yeah, it just makes more sense that way because that Pauline is of course uh, this Pauline that we see here right here. So after the events of Donkey Kong 2, so who's the father? So it is the original Mario. So yeah, the sibling. So yeah, that's the only explanation that I can give, that Mario and Pauline are siblings. That's the only way. And I mean that does make perfect sense, you know. And I mean, let's see, because note the blue eyes. Mario has blue eyes, and you know they both like red, and they both signify with red. So yeah, that's because because technically that's a Mario red, maybe a little bit darker, but yeah. But then look at the red on this one. Note how red this is. That's Mario red. You know, Nintendo red. So it's only fair that that Pauline is is the bigger sister of Mario. So at the time she was 13, we get baby Mario and baby, of course, baby Luigi, and of course they're twins. Of course they're twins and everything like that. So yeah, it just makes sense that way. It does. That Mario and Pauline are siblings. So and Paul in the Pixel Pauline is Super Mario's mother. So there you have it. So where does it fit in the timeline? Okay, Donkey Kong 1, Mario and Pauline, Donkey Kong Jr. That Mario is the bad guy, and or so we thought um because yeah. And then we have so after Donkey Kong Jr. we get, you know, years later they begin, of course they become friends and everything like that. A little bit of misunderstanding, which is probably the reason why you don't see both Mario and which is why you don't see Mario and Pauline in Donkey Kong 3. So yeah. So and of course that Donkey Kong from Donkey Kong 3. I'm thinking that it's Donkey Kong Jr. just a little grown up, just a little grown up at this point because um you know pretty much getting into pretty much getting actually no, it's actually Cranky. I'm just joking. It's Cranky Kong. He's just you know after being you know being how he was and everything like that. So yeah. So so yeah. And then after Donkey Kong 3, we haven't seen Donkey Kong Jr. and Pauline. So where does this all so yeah, it's somewhere. So the timeline of Donkey Kong Bonanza takes place between right at the beginning of Donkey Kong Country. So it's the prequel to Donkey Kong Country. That is my theory. So you have Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr., aka Donkey Kong 2, then Donkey Kong 3, then Donkey Kong Bonanza. And and of course, um, then you have the Game Boy version of of Donkey Kong, of the Game Boy version of Donkey Kong, which is um, Mario, current Mario and uh, adult Pauline. So yeah, and so yeah, where does that lead to? The Mario versus DK. Um, those lines they fall in right after. So and then we go into the Donkey Kong Country titles. So yeah. So yeah, fusing, yes, maybe, who knows? But so goes so Donkey Kong Bonanza. Um, falls into the category of the events happening after the original Donkey Kong for Game Boy, the Donkey Kong reboot for Game Boy. So yeah, that is what I'm going with. So here's the timeline. So here is my theory of the timeline. One more time, it is Donkey Kong, the original Donkey Kong game, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Donkey Kong Bonanza, then the Donkey Kong remasters. I mean, the Donkey Kong Game Boy title, the Donkey Kong Game Boy title. Then Donkey Kong Bonanza. And then Mario versus Mario versus Mario versus Donkey Kong. Mario versus DK. All in that order. And then you have Donkey Kong Country. So there you go. Actually, no. Mario versus DK doesn't. Um, yeah, Mario versus DK, and then it goes into that. Then it jumps right into Donkey Kong Country. So there you go. That is the timeline. So, and I think it perfectly fits. I think so. I think it perfectly fits, and I think that makes sense. That the events um, between between Donkey Kong 3 and Donkey Kong Country, I think fits perfectly. Oh no, the Donkey Kong Game Boy game. So yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. So, but yeah. Um. So yeah, I am looking at the time and everything, and so yeah. Um. It was a little messy at first with with everything in order because I didn't write any of this stuff down, which I probably should have. But but yeah. But nonetheless, it was still pretty cool. And but yeah, I'm looking at the time, and yeah, I should probably call it a night. And with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning in. Um, yeah. Be sure to follow me on Blue Sky at TomDog247. Um, Also, you could at times you never know when I'm going to be streaming on Twitch, so make sure you follow me on Twitch as well too at TomDog247. Make sure that the O's are zeros when typing this all out. So yeah, look out for that. And thumbs up the video if you like it. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below. What is your theory between this the young version of Pauline let us know in the comment section down below. And plus, also, if you've seen a Minecraft movie, let me know what you thought about it in the comment section down below. Ringy dingy that bell to stay notified of what I'm going to be doing next. And also, be sure to support small streamers like myself by doing the most important thing that you can do for us small streamers like myself, and we'll love you forever. We will love you more than the timeline of Donkey Kong, than the Donkey Kong timeline. So, uh, so with that being said, but we'll love you more than we'll love you more. Actually, we'll love you more than Donkey Kong loves bananas, and the only way to for us to love you more than Donkey Kong loves bananas is doing the most important thing that you can do for us small streamers like myself, and that is face hug that subscribe button. Closing thoughts on Pride Month. Hope everybody had a happy and safe Pride Month, and as a supporter, I, you know, and an ally of the LGBTQ plus community. Um, every one of you makes a you know help make this world a better place and everything like that. And I salute you. I really do salute you, and I love you all forever. I love you all. I will always love you guys for guys and gals um and everything. I love you all. I love you all so much, and I think of you, and I always think of you. You're in my heart and everything like that. You are within that. My heart goes out to you. My heart is full of pride, and I love you all forever. And with this crazy world that we live in and everything like that, just know that there's a lot of haters out. There's a lot of haters that fear what they don't understand, but know that here you are always welcome. And I've been a supporter for a long time now, and just want to let you all know that I will always support you and always stand behind you and stand with you as well too. And because there is no room for hate, I have no room for hate. So much love, so much love. So, um, so with that being said, thank you again. Thank you all so much for tuning in and everything. I'll be back here tomorrow night with Wrestling Prime Elite, and then we'll be closing up the weekend with Wrestling Prime Classic. So, um, till then, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace. Have a good night, everybody. See you next time. Chicken jockey.